I'm your host, Rob Riggle, and to quote a good friend of mine, Nick Foles, I have no idea how this happened, but I'm super psyched to be here. Look at this crowd! This crowd's amazing!
Sometimes a good laugh can be a Marine's best friend. And sometimes the best laughs come from our best Marines. 9 years active duty, 14 years in the reserves, Afghanistan, Kosovo, Liberia, Albania, Ground Zero.
My unit was the only reserve unit in Manhattan, and 9/11 happened, and my unit was activated that night. We worked on the rubble piles. I was down there until September 30th. Then I volunteered to go back on active duty, and on November 30th, I was on a plane to Afghanistan.
Recipient of the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Joint Service Achievement Medal, National Defense Service Medal, rising to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, and ultimately, Colonel.
It's Figer looking good! Look, I was a theater and film major in college, and I've always had a passion for comedy and acting, and but I also wanted to serve, so I think we're lucky enough to live in a country you can have more than one dream and pursue them both.
Rob Riggle has given countless hours, support, and laughs to our troops. He's helped raise millions of dollars for charities like the Semper Fi Fund, Children's Mercy, and the IAVA. He is a true national treasure and great friend of our military.
When you go and you put your hand in there, you volunteer, you go over, you put your life and limb on the line, and sometimes repeatedly, and then come home and nobody has the time for you, we can do better than that.
It is with great pleasure and thanks that tonight we honor Rob Riggle with IAVA's 2018 Veteran Leadership Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Rob Riggle.
All the chairs going back in sounds like a bunch of seals. Not the good Navy. All right. Wow, what an honor, and I'm very grateful to be here tonight. Thank you so much. I woke up this morning, like all of us did, and I heard the terrible news. The bar in question is about 2 miles from my house. So my wife, was reaching out to me, and we have a lot of friends on the Ventura County Sheriff's Department, and a lot of parents that have college-age kids. A lot of the Pepperdine and Cal Lutheran kids were there. And anyway, so it was a very trying morning as far as trying to reach out to friends and make sure people were okay this morning. And then, of course, Dan, the Marine that Paul mentioned earlier, I had met him once before at a veterans event in Hollywood, another organization I work with, the Veterans in Film and Television. I didn't know him that well, but I did have the honor of meeting him. So today at lunch, I sat down and I wrote just some thoughts, and I did it on my phone, so bear with me. But this is just what came to me, and so if you'll indulge me, I'll just read it to you. There's a simple reason why I get misty every time I hear the national anthem. It's because of a deep-rooted love of our country. Where there's passion, there's emotion, and usually very strong emotion. I'm a passionate person when it comes to this country. I want the best for this country. How could you not? It's my home. It's where I was born. It's where I live, and hopefully one day where I'll die. It's where all my hopes and dreams will have their chances to come true. It's where my children and someday my grandchildren will live, grow, and dream as well. It's where their lives, loves, and dreams have a chance to come true. Centuries ago, our forefathers lived under real tyranny, not perceived tyranny, but real tyranny. Something we've never experienced in this country since their revolution. I have an unwavering respect for all those who risked everything they had, life, limb, property, freedom, to fight for the rights and freedoms that we should cherish today. Often we don't. And it continues today with those who still fight for those precious rights. There is nothing free about freedom, we all know that, and there are men and women today sacrificing life and limb to protect those freedoms. Never take for granted what so many have sacrificed for. Our constitutional rights, be it freedom of religion or speech or due process, we all still enjoy them today, hundreds of years later, because of what those brave Americans did in their time and what millions of brave Americans are doing right now in our time. Our veterans choose to serve their country today. They risk it all for us, for our children, for our today and our tomorrows. That's why I say thank you to veterans. Not because it's what you're supposed to say, but because I've thought about it. I've sincerely looked at it and reasoned it out. What our veterans and their families risk and sacrifice is more than we'll ever be able to repay. I'm proud to be a veteran. I'm proud to be an American. Thank you for letting me be here tonight and joining me. That's all for that. All right, thank you for indulging me on that. I wrote all that at a bar in Midtown. That's where Marines spend their time, at a bar. I apologize for the beard. I am not going hippie. It's for a role. And I never get to say that. This is for a role. I used to lie about it all the time. When I would gain 20 pounds, I'd tell people it was for a role. It wasn't. I was just fat and lazy. I would feel remiss if I left without giving you a joke. I don't do jokes, per se, but here's one for you. Who's the most underrepresented tonight? Coast Guard? Probably? Safe bet. All right. So a Coast Guardman, woman, Coast Guard person, dies, goes to heaven, standing at the pearly gates. St. Paul says, "Hey, come on in. You've done a great job. We're proud of you." This Coast Guardman says, I don't want to, just promise me there are no Marines in heaven. I don't want to go in there. I'm tired of dealing with these guys. They've been kicking my butt all my life. St. Peter says, "Oh, please. You don't got to worry. There are no Marines in heaven, my friend." So he goes, "Okay, I'm coming in." So he walks in. He's walking around heaven. It's amazing. Pillars, angels. It's beautiful. Right then, the sharpest looking Marine you ever saw walked by, dressed blues, I mean, eighth and I, looking good, son. Just walks right by. He panics. He runs back out to St. Peter. "St. Peter, what gives? I just saw this sharp looking Marine in there. You said there were no Marines in heaven." St. Peter goes, "Oh, yeah, no, that's just God. He thinks he's a Marine." Good night, everybody.